Hey everyone, and welcome to Weight Loss Wednesday. I'm Chef AJ, the author of The Secrets to Ultimate Weight Loss, Own Your Health, and the new 10th anniversary edition of Unprocessed, and this is where I show you recipes for healthy, permanent, and sustainable weight loss. So I recently posted a picture on my Instagram page of what I called Strawnanna muffins, and everybody wanted the recipe, but I didn't post it because it really isn't a recipe, because the truth is I almost never cook with recipes, mine or anyone else's. So I'm just going to show you the process. I said on the post that you could certainly use the recipe that I submitted to Forks Over Knives. It's both an app and a website for just banana muffins. But basically, I don't know how many ingredients I have on hand, and I don't want to have to go to the store more than once a week, so I just make with whatever I have. That's how I was raised to cook. So I'm starting with ripe bananas. They really need to be ripe. I'm sorry, there is no sub for bananas in my recipes because I'm using them not just for the sweetness in place of the sugar, so that I don't have to use dates, which are of a much higher, over 3 times the caloric density, but they also add moisture, so I don't need oil. So if you don't like bananas, watch another video. Can't help you. So sorry, but they are unparalleled in healthy, low-fat, vegan baking. So I happen to have 5 today, so that's what I'm using, because I hate to weigh and measure both my food or my recipes. You can use frozen bananas, but I've noticed that when I defrost frozen bananas, there's a lot of liquid, and then I always seem to have to use more oats. If you don't have oats, don't got a sub for you either. Sorry about that. Anyway, so I've got my ripe bananas, and I'm going to put them in my bowl. And again, if I had 4, I'd use 4. If I had, I just use what I have, and I wait for them to get ripe. The darker, the better for making moist, sweet, baked goods. Then I'm going to take a potato masher and mash the bananas. And usually what I do, just to make it mash a little bit easier, I just pour a little bit of non-dairy milk. I did not measure this in the bowl. This is just what I had in the fridge left. So I just use the non-dairy milk just to get it a little smoother and so that it will mash easier. When I do put the bananas in the food processor, it makes more of a liquid. So again, the more liquidy, the more oats you're going to need. And I want to have as strong of a banana flavor as possible. So we have that. We want it to be nice and smooth. And then I'm going to add some unsweetened applesauce. And again, I don't measure. I just, boom, I don't know. That was what I had in the jar. So maybe that was a cup. I don't know. Now, I don't find that applesauce really is a sub for bananas. It's much different tasting. I find it's much sweeter, sometimes almost sickly sweet. Have you ever tried eating applesauce by itself? It's very, very sweet. But again, it does provide a lot of moisture so that your baked goods are not dry. So I've got that in. There may be a few lumps. It just depends on how much you want to mash it. And then my cinnamon, and I just sprinkle, I don't know, what was that, tablespoon and a half. And then I always put vanilla bean powder in any baked recipe. This I'd be more gingerly with, maybe a teaspoon. When you don't measure, you don't have to wash a lot of stuff, which is fantastic. So we'll just mix this up, this nice puree. You can see there's some lumps. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then I just start putting in my oats. This is a ½ cup measure because this is just what's in the container. I always start with about 2. You can always add. You can't take away. Just mix it up. Basically what I'm making is baked oatmeal, really. So I can tell it needs to have a little bit more oats because otherwise it's too runny. Try 2 more cups. It's probably fine. I do this every week, and I've been doing this, oh my God, for how many years have I been off sugar now? 20. So there we go. I mean, it's not rocket science. If you put too many oats in, it's just going to be a little bit drier. If you put not enough, though, it's probably not going to bake. So this actually looks perfect. And now, if you're worried these aren't going to be sweet enough, because if you are used to eating a lot of sugar, or especially a lot of dates, they may not be. So what I like to do is put in a few raisins. And I like the yellow raisins because I think they're sweeter, I think they're better tasting, and because you can't see them, it's sort of like a surprise when you get one. Let's stir these in. And then, how are these Strawnanna muffins? There's no strawberries. Well, I always have cut up strawberries in my fridge because I don't know if it's my favorite fruit, but it's my favorite berry, and I was about to make my summer strawberry tart. Recipe is on this page. It's fantastic. And then I'm just going to add a few. This is especially good if your strawberries are about to go bad. I've done this with blueberries as well, both fresh and frozen. And when you cook the strawberries, they almost melt, and they just provide this pretty pink color to the muffins, and of course a delicious flavor because strawberries are so delicious. You could probably bake this in a pan. I would recommend a silicone baking pan, probably for about 40-45 minutes at 350, but it's fun having muffins because then it's really easy to give these to people if they want them. This doesn't matter what size this measuring cup is. I'm just using it just to make it easier to get into my muffin tin. And then that way it's all the same size. And then I'm going to put another on top, another equal amount. But I always like to do this just so. And if I have any batter left over, I'll either force it in and make like a jumbo muffin, or I'll just put it in another muffin pan and bake it another time. I love silicone. It's oven safe to, I believe, over 500 degrees. And when you are using oil-free as your lifestyle, they're so easy to clean, these silicone pans. They come in every shape and size just about, and nothing sticks because you just pop the muffin out. Really though, you want to make sure when you're doing vegan baking in general, don't over mix your ingredients, and always make sure your oven is preheated and properly calibrated. A lot of people never bother to calibrate their oven. It's a very easy process. For $10 you can get a thermometer at a hardware store to make sure it's correct. And then I'm just going to make another mound on top. These are really, really delicious, and I hope you'll try them. And again, if you always rely on recipes, you'll always have to rely on recipes. So really just take the leap that you can make food without it, and that's the only way you'll ever get good at it, you know. When you don't use recipes, you don't need bookshelves, you don't need apps or paper, just do it. They say that's how all the great chefs cook. I was raised by a French chef, and she never wrote a recipe down in her life, and she owned a 5-star Michelin restaurant in Switzerland, and never wrote a recipe down. So really try to expand your horizons and try to just cook by feel. It's really a great way to get good at it, and it's easier because you don't have to be measuring things or cleaning them. And again, I am going to put this in a preheated 350 degree oven for about 40-45 minutes, and then I'm going to turn the oven off and make sure that it cools completely. Let me show you what they look like when they're done, because it's too hot really to be cooking right now, so I'm going to cook this a little bit later. But as luck would have it, I made some of these the other day, and this is what they look like. They're absolutely delicious, moist. You could toast these in the air fryer if you want, but there you have it. Really easy, just making it up from scratch, Strawnanna muffins. I'm Chef AJ. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you'll try this recipe, and if you do, you'll let me know if you like it or not. I really believe you can have both the health and the body you so richly deserve. Take care. Bye-bye.